Hey my brothers and sisters, it's your boy Zach, and welcome back to some more ZZZ. Today's video, we are going to be going over both Yuzuha's and Alice's kits, so let's just hop on into it. Starting out with Yuzuha, she is an anomaly support who essentially fulfills the role of Astra, but for anomaly teams. So starting out with Yuzuha's EX skill, activating it will trigger a quick assist and inflict sweet scare on the enemy. Additionally, at this time, due to her core passive, it will increase the team's attack and the squad's overall damage. Tying into this, her additional ability, which activates with Anomaly and Spook Shack characters. When Yuzuha's Anomaly Mastery hits a certain level, it increases the squad's Anomaly buildup rate upon her inflicting Sweet Scare, also increasing the squad's attribute Anomaly and Disorder damage. Now before we get to the rest of Yuzuha's kit, when she does use her EX skill, she gains something called Sugar Points. Sugar Points are very important because they allow her to do follow-up attacks that inflict aftershock damage while she is off field. She consumes these Sugar Points to then do the aftershock follow-up attack damage. Now how you get Sugar Points, you gain 3 at the start of battle, you gain 2 for using EX skill, you gain 1 from a chain attack, you gain 1 from a parry, and you gain 6 from using your ultimate. Now to the properties of her basic attack. Alongside the doing off-field damage while she has Sugar Points, while the enemy is in Sweet Scare, their anomaly bar will slowly be built up over time, and if enemies are hit by Yuzuha's follow-up attacks or off-field attacks, the anomaly bar will fill up faster. The first teammate that hits the enemy in Sweet Scare state will proc Yuzuha's ability Flavor Match, which changes her anomaly buildup to the attribute of the teammate. So the example being, if Miyabi hits the enemy first, then it will become Frost Anomaly Buildup, and if Vivian hits the enemy first, it will become Ether Anomaly Buildup. And also she does have a defensive stance. If you hold her basic attack, she enters the defensive stance, and then after a successful block of an enemy's attack, you can press the basic attack button again to launch a follow-up attack. And you can also do this follow-up attack after you perform a perfect assist. As stated earlier, her ultimate can recover Sugar Points, that being 6, but on top of that, it inflicts Sweet Scare on all enemies that are hit by the ultimate, so it's an easy way to apply Sweet Scare to multiple enemies all at once. So when it comes down to playing Yuzuha, it's going to feel like a mixture of both Vivian and Astra combined into one character. And the fact that she just buffs every aspect of Anomaly, that being the attack, the build-up, and the damage, she's going to be really just great for Anomaly teams overall. But that's enough about Yuzuha. Let's move over to Alice. Looking at Alice, she is a physical anomaly character who is essentially just physical Yanagi. That's like the easiest way to say it because it boils down to her having the same aspects of Yanagi, but just a little bit placed on top to make her better. So before we start talking about Alice's basic attack, EX skill, core pass, all that stuff, we need to talk about Blade Etiquette, which is her little special bar. So, Blade Etiquette is gained from using EX skills, inflicting assault, and accumulating anomaly buildup. It can store up to 3 Blade Etiquette, and you're invulnerable while using the skill. You activate it by holding your basic attack, and depending on how much of the bar you use, that will determine how many slashes you release. So more slashes means more bar used and more anomaly built up. Now when you consume 3 bars of Blade Etiquette, it triggers Polarizing Assault, aka Disorder, and can be activated and then swapped to another character to allow Alice to continue the attack while you fight with another character, so essentially allowing her to do it off field. Now going to her core passive, if anyone inflicts physical anomaly, Alice will deal additional damage per second based on the percentage of the original anomaly damage. If Assault triggers Disorder, the Disorder damage multiplier is increased. Additionally, her additional ability, which is activated with an Anomaly or support character, triggering Disorder restores Blade Etiquette for Alice, and when Anomaly Mastery hits a certain level, Alice gains additional Anomaly proficiency based on the Anomaly Mastery. Looking at her EX skill, she actually has 2, so you have the initial cast and the secondary one that can be activated if you have enough energy after the first cast, but while using this skill, she is invulnerable to all damage, and the attack can actually pierce enemies, so it can hit the enemies behind the ones in front, and the skill is considered a dodge. Now as stated earlier, the only real thing with her basic attack is the fact that you can hold the basic attack to consume up to 3 Blade Etiquette to use the Star Shine Waltz, and as stated before, the more meter used equals more slashes. And lastly, her ultimate triggers Polarized Assault as well, aka Disorder, and gives max Blade Etiquette maybe. When it was shown off in the actual live stream, they don't say it gives max Blade Etiquette, but when she did perform it, it did give her max Blade Etiquette, so that could either have been because of the number of enemies present, because as she hit them, she does a lot of building up a physical anomaly, or the skill itself just gives it to her. We'll have to see when she fully releases to know, but it's a maybe as of right now. At the bare minimum, it should give at least 2 Blade Etiquette. But yeah, Alice seems to look like she will work really well with Yanagi herself because they can both proc Disorder, which will allow her to get more Blade Etiquette more easily, or Jane Doe, because Jane Doe procs a lot of physical anomaly, which Alice also likes. So those two seem to be real good partners when it comes to Alice. But yeah, last but not least, we're just going to talk about Miss Esme, which is the Bang Boo Magical Girl. So this one is quick and simple. Miss Esme provides 2 buffs, Twinkle Star and Spectral Bubble. Twinkle Star restores energy, and Spectral Bubble restores health. The higher the on-field character's health, the more likely Miss Esme summons Twinkle Stars, and the lower the on-field character's health, the more likely Miss Esme summons Spectral Bubbles. If there's a Spook Shack character in the team, it increases the amount of health and energy she restores. But yes, that is both characters' kits along with the Bang Boot. So let me know if either of these characters interest you. Me personally, I'm going to go for them both because that's just how I am, but of the two, Yuzuha definitely seems like a more, kind of must pull more or less because supports are crazy, and the fact that she specifically helps anomaly teams is really good. You can't go wrong with a character that buffs anomaly across the board. She will always be useful. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you on the next one. I love you guys, and bye-bye.